There's a certain reason why women lose themselves in relationships, and it's not because they're weak or naive. It's a specific dynamic, and once you understand it, you can't unsee it. I know because I was that woman. And if I'm being honest, I didn't even know it was happening while I was in it. I thought I was being loving, supportive, understanding. I honestly thought I was being a good partner. But in looking back, I can say that I can see that somewhere along the way, I stopped being connected to myself. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because I don't think women lose themselves in relationships for reasons people think they do. Most people assume it's because someone has low self-esteem or they're insecure or they don't love themselves enough. But in my experience, that's not necessarily true. In fact, some of the women who lose themselves are one of the most incredibly capable women. They're intelligent, they're driven, ambitious, independent. They're the women who hold everything together. Those types of women that can walk into a room and immediately know how everybody feels. The women that know how to support, how to nurture, how to understand. It's those women who are constantly thinking about the people they love. And that's where the dynamic begins. Because one day, without you realizing, your attention starts to shift. Instead of asking, what do I need? You start asking, what do they need? How can I help them? How can I be supportive with them? Instead of focusing on your own life, your own dreams, your own purpose, your own expansion, your attention becomes fixated on them. How are they feeling? What are they thinking? What do they need from me? How can I support them? How can I make this work? At first, it feels like love, like caring, if you're being selfless. It even feels noble. But eventually something starts to happen. You become so focused on maintaining the relationship with them that you stop maintaining the relationship with yourself. And that's the part that nobody talks about. Because losing yourself rarely happens all at once. It's not dramatic, it's subtle. It's 1,000 tiny moments, 1,000 tiny decisions, and 1,000 ways you've placed someone else's experience ahead of yours. And over time, those small moments compound. Until one day you wake up and realize that your entire emotional state is entirely dependent on this person. When they're happy, you're happy. When they're uncertain, you're unstable. And when they're pulling away, your entire nervous system feels activated. And you start to believe that they're the problem. But the truth is that you've handed them the keys to your entire emotional world. Been reflecting on this lately, especially after my breakup, because after a relationship ends, there's this tendency to focus on them. What are they doing? What are they thinking about? Do they miss me? Will they come back? Are they happier without me? And those questions are normal, but it made me realize something, that every question still centered around them. Even after the relationship ended, my attention was still leaving me. And that realization hit hard because I realized that the greatest loss wasn't the relationship. It was my connection with myself. The dreams I stopped focusing on, the energy I had poured outward, and those parts of myself that had quietly taken the back seat. And I think this is why breakups can feel so devastating. Yes, you're grieving another person, but you're also grieving another version of yourself that you've abandoned along the way. The version of yourself that had goals, that had this future planned out, had this future envisioned, your passions, your curiosity, and direction. The version of yourself that existed before you gave up your emotional world to another person. The beautiful thing, though, is that awareness changes everything. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. You can't unknow it. So you start to catch yourself. You notice when you're obsessing over somebody else's journey instead of your own. You notice when your energy is flowing outwards instead of inwards. And that's where healing begins. Not by becoming cold or detached, not by refusing love, but by learning to stay connected to yourself while loving someone else. Because the lesson is not to stop loving deeply. The lesson is to stop abandoning yourself in the process. Healthy love shouldn't require you to disappear, to shrink, and healthy love will never require you to place your dreams, your passions, your goals in the backseat for somebody else. If anything, a healthy love will make you more of who you are deep inside. And that's the journey I'm on right now. It's not finding somebody else, not figuring out whether he's coming back. I'm not trying to force clarity, but I'm returning my attention to myself, back to my vision, back to my purpose, back to my life. Because at the end of the day, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the relationship with yourself. And that's what healing is. Not getting someone back, not moving on as quickly as possible, but slowly remembering who you are underneath all the roles you played for everyone else, and choosing yourself over and over again.